let's get started. Alrighty. Yo, what up, everybody? It is your boy Fitzpunk TV here, aka GLauren33. I want to welcome you guys back here to the Legit Shoot podcast. Here with your Monday Night Raw review and results for March 23rd, 2020. Empty arena style, alright? This is the second empty Monday Night Raw review. We've had, why did my lights go? Anyway, as you guys can see, my lights just turned off. I guess the Undertaker was making a quick cameo in the appearance. Anyway, I'm in like my office, so I'm recording in a different part of the office today, just because, so basically the lights might flicker on and off every couple seconds, just because like where I'm sitting right now, the sensor in the light. The sensor may think that I'm not in the room, so you may see that. I may just make the joke that the Undertaker's make the appearance, but I want to thank you guys for joining me here on the Legit Shoot podcast for tonight's review. Hopefully you guys can hear me in the chat. Alright. You guys can hear me, right? Yeah, alright, good. Kid Rance, it's good to see you. Alright, it's good to see you. Everyone else in the chat, it's good to see you guys tonight. Hopefully everyone is doing alright, everyone's staying safe. I know things are getting even more and more wild with this whole coronavirus. I think we're now in like week 3 of this lockdown or quarantine season, and the way Trump and everybody's responding, it's still probably gonna get a little bit worse before it gets better. I know here in Massachusetts, where I live, we're having a lockdown starting tomorrow, but it's more of an advisory, so I could still go outside a little bit, but I know sooner rather than later, we're gonna be on full lockdown. But luckily right now, I can still go to work. I know there's a lot of you guys that are, not able to go to work right now, and my prayers are out to you and your families, that you guys, have money aside, take care of yourselves till this is all over. But yeah, still, man, this is a rough time, but keep praying, keep practicing social distancing, man. We will get through this together, man. And I know I joke a lot about, WWE fans wasting their money to go to WWE shows. Even I go to a WWE show every once in a while. But I cannot wait for the day when, no matter if it's a Raw or a SmackDown, when this thing is all over, we get to see the WWE Universe be able to return to arenas, and we get to feel the energy of the crowd again. That's going to be a great day for all pro wrestling fans, alright? Because, we're seeing it with AEW, we're seeing it with WWE. I haven't really been keeping up intact with the other companies, but this is rough. This is hitting everybody hard, and I just hope, that everyone gets through this, everyone stays safe and healthy, and, once this is all over and we all finally get to, be out and social again, it's going to be a great time, and I cannot wait for that. The only thing I like about this is when I go driving, the streets aren't as busy, traffic's pretty good, but other than that, I really do hate this crisis, and hopefully we get this all solved sooner rather than later. But coming on with Raw tonight, if you guys see in the title, I put a decent show. It looks like WWE's finally learning a little bit from AEW, and I don't mind it, because at the end of the day, we are in a crisis. This is something we've never seen before, really, and I hope we never have to go through a time like this again. But with this whole outbreak, this whole virus situation, I just want to see WWE and AEW do well. I don't want to really see a war. I just want to see both companies put on the best shows possible, because really we need it at this time. There's a lot of people that are stuck at home, and when I want them to be able to turn on the TV and at least see a decent wrestling show, no matter if it's AEW or WWE. So Raw, I gotta give them props. They did a decent job tonight. I'm not gonna say this was a fantastic show, because it wasn't. It wasn't fantastic or anything like that. I'm still adjusting to these empty arena shows, but you get used to it a little bit more with each and every single week. But tonight they did something very different with Raw. If you guys remember, one of the things, AEW got very critically acclaimed for the way their show came out on Wednesday, and I gotta give AEW props and credit where credit is due. They did a great job making the best of a bad situation. And WWE, they're starting to learn a little bit from AEW. AEW, they had their talent in the crowd. They had they had everything shot from a different angle. So basically, they had everything shot from the middle aisleway. So basically, like, so you would be looking right at where the ramp is, where the Titantron is, and you would barely be able to see the empty seats, and that was a really good move on their part, and I liked how WWE did the same thing today with Monday Night Raw. I wish they did it on SmackDown, but it really worked for Raw tonight because then you don't really see the empty seats. It makes, because the way Raw and SmackDown were doing it, and you're just looking around at the empty arena, it's like low key depressing. It really is depressing. And like I said, I cannot wait for the day when we're able to have WWE fans back in the seats, back in the arenas. But like I said, WWE, they did a good job at least copying AEW in this situation. I don't mind it at all. I just want to see both companies succeed and give us the best wrestling that they possibly can. So basically, they had the different angles. It took a little bit to get used to it, but I really liked it. I hope they continue with this down into the future, because this is the way things are going to be going forward. There's rumors saying, with all the lockdowns going in place, like I believe there's lockdowns now in 21 states. Most likely, I'm not sure. I don't think Florida's on lockdown yet, but Florida being one of the biggest states in the country, it's probably going to happen soon. And I know that WWE, they are filming all of their WrestleMania shows. Like, they're filming, they filmed both SmackDowns for the next 2 weeks over the weekend. I believe they also filmed Raw for this week and next week today, and they're filming WrestleMania Wednesday and Thursday. So they can have that all out of the way. They can send their talent home, and at least for the next 2-3 weeks, WWE programming, they won't have to worry about that. They'll just have to edit, and that will be that. I don't know what else is gonna happen, because I don't. If I'm WWE after WrestleMania, I wouldn't be building towards any shows. There's really nothing to build towards. I believe the next big pay-per-view would be Money in the Bank. So if I'm WWE, we don't know how long this is gonna last. Like, people believe it's right now. Most states have lockdowns in place till April. I personally believe, as the cases continue to rise, they're mostly gonna get extended into May, and I believe probably around June, that's when things will start, coming back to normal a little bit. But I don't know. If I'm WWE, the way I would do it is, okay, since WrestleMania is happening, there's no changing it. Like, I wanted WrestleMania to happen in June at the Madison Square Garden, and then, we go straight into the SummerSlam build, But now what I would do if I'm WWE, I would have your WrestleMania, right? You can't really change that. And then what I would do is I would go, and depending on what happens, because we don't know if there's going to be Raws or SmackDown after WrestleMania. My bet right now would be saying no with all the lockdowns going in place. But what I would do after WrestleMania is I would start building towards Money in the Bank. And then I wouldn't put a date on Money in the Bank. I would probably put a date on Money in the Bank for June. Probably set Money in the Bank for June. All right, that's because that's around the time most people believed that's when, the social distancing will, get out of the way, and hopefully we can talk about that. Junior, I'm a Tom Brady fan. I'm going to be voting for Tom Brady and the Bucks. I'm not a Bucks fan. I'm a Tom Brady fan. I'm always going to be a Patriots fan. I blame Bill. All right? And that's what I'm going to say about that. Anyway, back to, let's stay on topic. In terms of what I would, I would focus on trying to have Money in the Bank in June, because I consider Money in the Bank to be one of the big 5 pay-per-views, all right? I'd have Money in the Bank in June whenever, the social distancing comes to an end. Build towards that, and then right after that, you go straight into your SummerSlam build. Don't do a pay-per-view in July. Just build towards, the rest of June, the rest of July, all the way to SummerSlam. That's the way I would do it. And I think that's the way they should do it. No, don't try to throw in a Saudi Arabia show, because there's rumors that WWE wanted to do like another Crown Jewel or Super Showdown show in the middle of the summer. You know, right now I just don't think that's a smart possibility. If you're gonna do that, save that for after SummerSlam. Maybe like September, October, when we have one of those gimmick pay-per-views like Night of Champions or Hell in a Cell, one of those pay-per-views that don't matter. Because everything's, you know, getting messed up now with this whole virus. So WWE, they're not going to have, you know, many pay-per-views this year. You know, we're not going to have, after Mania, I don't expect us to have a pay-per-view in May. You know, hopefully we'll have a pay-per-view in June. And if I'm WWE, I would not do a pay-per-view in July. All right, I would just do a pay-per-view in June, Money in the Bank, and then do SummerSlam in August. And then, you know, for the rest of the year, you can do whatever. All right, after SummerSlam, you start building to a Survivor Series or whatever. That's the way I would do it. Will they listen to me? Probably not. But hey, I'm just trying to give you guys, just trying to give them the best advice. That's the way I see it. Junior, Sasha's winning. I'm not convinced Sasha's gonna win the title at WrestleMania, and if she doesn't, I won't be mad because you know, I don't want to see Sasha win the title in front of an empty arena. You know, I'm most likely going to post a video discussing Sasha Banks and Bayley tomorrow where I can go in on depth like 10 to 15 minutes about it. But I think Sasha versus Bayley should be built for SummerSlam. Sasha versus Bayley was originally planned for Mania, but I'm kind of glad those plans got scratched because of, you know, Sasha's ankle injury, even though I believe she was never really injured. I think it was just more, well, even if she was, I don't think it was as serious as people tried to make it out to be. But what I would do, I would save Sasha versus Bayley for SummerSlam. You know, if she wins the title, look, I'll be happy, of course, but like, I would definitely save it from when in her hometown of Boston at SummerSlam, which I'll be there, and I would build Sasha versus Bayley on that. But we'll discuss that more in a separate video, most likely coming out tomorrow or Wednesday. So look out for that, guys. But let's get into Raw tonight. I spent the first, 10 minutes just talking about what WWE should do, but I'm gonna, like I said, we're not gonna spend too much time on this. This should be a fast review. Like, it's not too much happened on this show, but thing about it is, it still was a decent show. Just for the sheer fact that they had, the change with the camera angles, and the promo work was great. Paul Heyman, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins all cut fantastic promos. There was another good segment between Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch tonight. Like I said, AJ Styles cut another fantastic promo. Like, this was a decent show, Yes, I'm never going to get used to this whole empty arena process, but at least for now, and I can feel my charger moving in my my pocket anyway. Even though for now, I'll take it. All right. But the show started off with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Lesnar didn't say a word. Lesnar, it's so easy. I say this all the time. Imagine being Brock Lesnar. Man, you just come out. You legit don't have to do anything. I don't know. He probably has a private jet or a private, limo, something like that. Probably a private jet that takes him wherever from Minnesota to the Full Sail or the Performance Center in Florida, right? The guy doesn't have to do anything. He comes in with the same tank top, the same sweatpants, the same sneakers every single week. All he has to do is stand there and look intimidating. That's all he did. Lesnar did nothing. All he had to do was stand there and look intimidating into the camera. Like, he has the easiest job in the world. And then all he has to do really in most of his matches, do a couple suplex, do a couple FIs, and then you're done. Like, this guy Lesnar is a beast. And because I told you guys, I respect Brock Lesnar a lot more after what happened at the Royal Rumble. When he did, he earned my respect, But damn, Lesnar has it easy. He's making what, $1 million per appearance? And all he has to do is stand in the ring and not do anything? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. But, yeah, Lesnar and Paul Heyman, they start off the show. Basically, this was all, I thought Drew McIntyre was advertised for the show. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. But I thought for sure Drew was supposed to be on the show. But he didn't. They started off by showing a promo between McIntyre and Lesnar, basically recapping everybody on their story so far. And What was it? What was it? I'm just looking through my notes. Okay, here we go. Basically, it was Paul Heyman just cut a promo talk about how Lesnar has been the most dominant superstar in WWE history, and he said McIntyre had no chance of beating Lesnar at Mania. That was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. He went on to talk about how we're living in a world right now that's full of uncertainty. One guarantee that he could give is that Lesnar will still be the reigning, defending, undisputed champion after WrestleMania. Like I said, Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre or Edge versus Randy Orton, one of those two matches should be the main event of WrestleMania. But the thing about it is, they're doing this whole WrestleMania is too big just for one night. They're making it into a 2-night event. And it's basically already been confirmed. The first night is most likely going to be Lesnar versus McIntyre as the main event. And the second night, unfortunately, of course, is going to be Roman versus Goldberg, which I'm not excited for at all. I didn't do a SmackDown review this week just because I didn't really feel up to it. The only real thing that I wanted to talk about from SmackDown was Sasha and Bayley, which I'm saving for a video, which you guys will see later this week, like I already said. I don't want to talk about how terrible that Roman and Goldberg contract signing was. That was easily one of the worst contract signings I've seen in the 21 years I've been a WWE fan. That was absolutely atrocious. But getting back into Lesnar, I expect the match to be really good. What's going to be interesting to see how they do these matches. WrestleMania is going to feel so much more different. And like next week, probably depending on how my schedule is looking, I am going to make time to make a WrestleMania preview and prediction video, which will probably be, we'll probably live stream here and we'll just talk about, WrestleMania. I'll give you guys my predictions for every match. They did add 2 more matches to the WrestleMania card, which we'll discuss in just a second, But I expect Lesnar versus McIntyre will be really good. It's just going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see how Lesnar will perform in front of an empty arena. Out of all the matches, I'm really curious to see, does Lesnar, because, when Lesnar cares, he's one of the best performers on the entire main roster. Look at his matches with AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, John Cena. When Lesnar cares, he's a beast. Let's look at the Royal Rumble, all right? Here's the thing, is he going to care? I know he would care about a match with Drew McIntyre. All right, that's a big-time match. But is he going to care if it's in an empty arena with no fans? I know Lesnar doesn't really like, big places anymore. Lesnar's a very private guy. But still, I'm very curious to see how Lesnar's going to perform in an empty arena. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, it wasn't a bad promo. It really didn't do anything for me personally, but it wasn't a bad promo. Honestly, this was a night filled with a lot of good promos. Next thing, we had 2 new matches. Before I get into the next thing, we had 2 new matches announced for WrestleMania. We had Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley, and we also had Andrade and I forget, Angel Garza versus the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Alright, here's my first thing. Bobby Lashley versus Aleister Black. Why the hell is that match on the show? Someone explain to me why? Honestly, the way I thought is, you already have a lot of matches played for WrestleMania. And it would be one thing if WrestleMania was being held in an arena in front of 80,000 people like it usually is, but it's not. It's being held in an empty arena across 2 days. So just because you're having a 2-night WrestleMania event, that's supposed to mean that you're gonna have 1,000 matches on the show. That gives you the excuse to do that. Why? Like, what are we doing here, WWE? Why? Why do we have to have all these matches on a show that's not even worthy to be called WrestleMania? Yes, WrestleMania is going to be different this year. No arena, no fans, Performance Center. It's going to be taped, and it feels like they're doing some different things. Like, we'll talk about that in a sec when we get to AJ Styles' promo on The Undertaker. I'm very interested to see what they're doing with AJ Styles and Undertaker's match at Mania and the stipulation that they announced tonight. But still, I'm very confused. Why do we need Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley? How long do you plan to make WrestleMania? Are you gonna still force us to sit there for a 5-hour show for both nights? So the first night's 5 hours, the second night's 5 hours? I'm not interested in that. You guys aren't interested in that. In my opinion, you should just be doing the important matches, your title matches, the single feuds that matter, like Styles versus Taker, like Edge versus Orton. I don't give a crap about Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. That's a house show match, you know. The Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza, yes, that could be a really good feud, but there's no story behind it. What in the world have Garza and Andrade done to earn a Raw Tag Team Championship opportunity? They've done absolutely nothing, in my opinion. I didn't even know they were an actual tag team. Isn't Andrade the U.S. champion? What has Andrade done as U.S. champion as of late? All he's done is beat Humberto a couple times. I thought Andrade was supposed to lose the U.S. championship. You know, but I guess not. I really don't know. I'm not interested in neither one of these matches, especially since there's not going to be a crowd in there. You know, I'll probably skip those matches. Either one of those matches will be either a bathroom break for me, or I'm not going to talk about them at all. Like, honestly, I just don't care. If you're giving me house show matches on a WrestleMania card, I'm sorry, but no, it's unnecessary. You should only be giving us, the matches that matter. The way WrestleMania should be booked, and you guys will hear me say this a lot in the next couple weeks. The way WrestleMania should be booked, this year is book it like an NXT takeover. That's the way you should. If you look at the NXT takeover shows every single year, or they only have 5, 6, 7 matches max. It's 7 matches if it's a really big show. But most times it's only about 5, 6 matches. And those matches get time. They get 15, 20, even up to 30 minutes to tell their story. WrestleMania matches, like what? Most of those matches are 10 minutes because they have 15 freaking matches on the card. And the thing about it is, you have in the Performance Center this year. You want to make WrestleMania look important? Only do the important matches. You should only have about 10 to, I would say 12 matches max over the span of two nights. Do 6 matches on night 1 on Saturday and do the other 6 on night 2. Don't give us 15, 16 matches on a course of 2 nights. So you can give us an excuse to give us a 4 or 5 hour show each and every single night. So we have to watch 10 hours of wrestling. You guys think about it? We're going to get 4 days of wrestling in a row. We're going to get SmackDown 2 days before Mania. We're going to get night 1 of Mania on that Saturday. We're going to get night 2 of Mania on that Sunday. And then we're probably going to have another Monday Night Raw if we don't, not the whole country's not in lockdown at that point. Not smart if you ask me. Not smart if you ask me at all. You should only be focusing on your important matches for Mania, in my opinion. And Junior, what are you talking about? I don't play games a lot, but I play, some anime games. I have like a My Hero series and, Dragon Ball. I have some series on my channel for games. This isn't really a gaming channel. Every once in a while I do gaming, but it's not the big thing. The big thing on this channel is anime reactions, reviews, and, WWE. You know this. I don't know why you asked me that. But anyway, getting back into the show. They showed us a replay of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. In my opinion, this is one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen. That was the year that I believe Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, and he had like The Rock come out and help him. One of the worst Royal Rumble decisions of all time. That was the year that Daniel Bryan should have won, and we should have got Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That was the year when the Roman agenda first began. I remember that Royal Rumble in the back of my head. Oh my gosh. But yes, the best thing on that card, probably the best thing on that card was John Cena versus Rollins versus Lesnar. An absolutely fantastic triple threat match. One of the best triple threat matches I've personally seen in my 21 years of watching wrestling. Alright? And I was happy because in the last couple of weeks we were getting, the Royal Rumble back on. We were getting the we got a replay of the SmackDown Elimination Chamber Tag Team Title match from Elimination Chamber a couple weeks ago as a replay. But honestly, that was about it. You know, I was not happy we were getting those kind of matches. I said last week on the review, if you're going to give us these types of matches, give us matches we can, sink our teeth into. You know what I mean? And I was happy we got John Cena versus Rollins versus Lesnar. I didn't mind it. And you guys can continue to expect this. WWE's going to do this. My only problem really with this is WWE should be using this to promote the WWE Network. Like, why? They're barely mentioning the WWE Network. Remember before, all the time, Michael Cole, Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, all they would do was talk about WWE Network. Oh, man, you can get your first month of WWE Network free for new subscribers. All right? And with that, you get WrestleMania for free or SummerSlam for free. Something like that. They're barely mentioning the WWE Network. I don't know if this is because, WWE's trying to sell its pay-per-view rights to ESPN Plus. They showed the entire WrestleMania 30 show on ESPN the other night, and they're probably going to keep doing this because what does ESPN really have to put in terms of sports content right now with all the sports being canceled? WWE is still going strong, so I don't know. I hope they don't get the ESPN Plus deal because I'm not paying $60 for freaking pay-per-view, $10 on the WWE Network is a steal. If they up the price to $20, even $25, I would still pay for it. But $60 for pay-per-view, plus on top of that, the $5 that ESPN Plus costs to have, absolutely not. Get out of my face with that nonsense. All right. But after the match, we had AJ Styles come out. AJ Styles challenged Undertaker to a boneyard match. I'll say this: AJ Styles has been, these last couple weeks, AJ Styles has been giving the best promo work of his career. I always knew that AJ Styles was good on the mic, but he has been on another level these last couple weeks with his promos. He has been fantastic. Alright, fantastic. I don't know why WWE didn't always give him, the right or the green light to go out there and say whatever he wants. He's been absolutely fantastic on the mic as of late. Like, woo. But basically, AJ came out and he talked about the contract signing him and Undertaker had last week. He made fun of how the Undertaker isn't who he is anymore. He kept referring to him as Mark, Undertaker's real name. And, he also mentioned, which I saw I really paid attention to that. He mentioned how the Undertaker didn't come out with his cap and his gown and his cap and his robe and everything like that. He came out really in these long pants and boots, and he was making fun. I forgot what he called Taker. Carl Anderson thought Taker was wearing diapers, but I forgot what Luke Gallows said it was. But they were making fun of him. And they did what's going on about how the Undertaker isn't the Undertaker anymore. You don't see that guy when you look at Taker. You just see an old man named Mark. And he played a video. I saw this on social media the last couple of days, and I was kind of laughing because, the Undertaker has become so human in the last couple of years. He's on social media. He has an Instagram. He has a Twitter. He posts to his social media. We've seen so many more videos now of Undertaker out of character. Back in the day, when I was a little kid watching the Attitude Era, you would never see the Undertaker out of character. Inside the ring or outside the company. He was almost always in character. Always. It was one of the great things about him. You would almost never think of Mark Calloway as Mark Calloway. You would always think, oh, Undertaker, Undertaker, Undertaker. But the thing about it is, there was a video I saw of Michelle McCool, Undertaker's wife, and Taker. They were in a pool with a tiger. They were doing this thing like Save the Tigers movement. I thought it was kind of cool. But AJ Styles, they actually played the video on the Titantron behind Styles while he was doing his promo. And, AJ was going on about how Michelle McCool had stolen the Deadmo's soul, so he won't have to do it at WrestleMania. He's just going to put him in the casket. And then we had been hearing rumors about how Taker versus Styles was originally supposed to be a casket match, but the plans changed. Well, Styles challenge Taker to a boneyard match. A boneyard match. I don't know what a boneyard match is, really, and this is what I'm talking about when they're going outside the box. Maybe this is a match that doesn't even take place inside the performance center. Maybe it takes place outside the performance center on the Full Sail campus. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a buried alive match. Like I said, I'm very intrigued, and to me, Styles kept going, this is going to be in your backyard. He also said it's going to be in the place where Michelle McCool stole your soul, where she buried the Undertaker. So I'm definitely intrigued. Maybe it's a buried alive match. Maybe it's like an outdoor street fight. Either way, I'm actually kind of excited. When they first announced Taker and Styles about a month and a half ago, I was like, because the Taker is old. But now I'm actually excited. Styles' promo work, I really like the story where this is going. And I'm starting to get more and more convinced that we're gonna see a more of a what's his name, rolling biker Taker. All right, I think we're gonna see a biker Taker make the return. I hope if he does, we get like the bandana, the jean jacket Taker. That's what I'm hoping for. But definitely, we're not gonna see, the Undertaker with the gown and the hat. No, we're gonna see a different kind of Taker. This is gonna be a street Taker. So I think we may see biker gang Taker at Mania. That's at least my hope. But I'm definitely intrigued to see what they have planned for this boneyard match. All right. Junior. Before we move on, Junior says I want them to move the ESPN Plus. I already have it, so if they move the ESPN Plus, I want to spend more money. That's wrong. All right, that's wrong. ESPN Plus costs $5, but it doesn't give you the show. Like it does, like you pay the $5 just for the service itself. On top of that, you'll probably have to pay, another $60 just for the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like if you say, most UFC fights are now on ESPN Plus. So when my friend wanted to see the Conor McGregor versus Cowboy fight a couple months ago, when that happened, he had to pay $5 for ESPN Plus. On top of that, he had to pay $60 for the pay-per-view. So altogether, you're basically paying $65 for a pay-per-view. So, I'm praying that they stay on the network, but we don't know. Anyway, we had Andrade and Angel Garza versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. A lot of us have been talking about how Ricochet and Cedric Alexander have been buried by Vince McMahon, two very talented individuals. But this was a really good tag team match, definitely. And this is where you could definitely see having that new camera angle, where it's not focused and you don't see all these empty seats. The way they have it, you can just focus on what's going on in the ring with the wrestling. Man, this was a fantastic tag team match. I would not mind if Cedric Alexander and Ricochet, continued to be tag team partners. They had matching gear tonight. They work really well. They have very similar styles. They could be a high-flying tag team, similar to, maybe like the New Day or Lucha House Party. I wouldn't mind. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, they have no direction. You need more tag teams, right? Right now, all you have what is the Club. You have Street Profits. You have AOP, which I haven't seen them wrestle in a tag team match in forever. You have the Viking Raiders, and that's about it. And I guess if you want to count Garza and Andrade, but the way I would do it, hey, put Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. This was a really good match. The finish was a little bit weird because at the end, Andrade hit, I think it was Ricochet, but I'm not exactly sure. But he hit Ricochet with like a huge forearm. Like you could hear it really loud, especially with no fans in the arena. Goes for the pin, and the ref goes 1, 2, and basically it was a count of 4. But the third time he didn't say anything, so it was like 1, 2, 3. So I don't know, it was weird. Even the commentators they didn't understand what was going on for a sec, but still. What up, Lil Fettuccine? Good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing well in the quarantine. Good to have you in the stream tonight. But yeah, this was a fantastic tag team match. Ricochet and Cedric continue to lose, but you work it out. Garza and Andrade lose when they're facing the Street Profits at Mania. Even though they've done nothing really to deserve the opportunity, it's whatever, right? It's WWE. Moving on. Moving on. Like I said, let's keep Ricochet and Cedric Alexander as a tag team going forward. If you have nothing planned for them, why not? They could definitely be a valuable tag team in that division, especially with all the talent that Raw has. Next up, we had the Street Profits versus Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. This was a tag team from NXT. It wasn't, a good match or anything. It was just whatever. This was just to get the Street Profits on the show. I didn't mind it. I believe we had 3 matches tonight. The last couple arena shows, we barely had any matches during the show. But hey, this was not bad. It wasn't bad at all. Street Profits win, of course. You work it out, them lose, especially this close to WrestleMania. Even though I disagree with having a Raw Tag Team title match at WrestleMania, it's whatever, and we'll get through it. Alright, next up, we had an exclusive interview with Shayna Baszler. Alright, you guys know last week, I really do appreciate how they're building Becky versus Shayna. Becky versus Shayna has a good build. Becky has been taking Shayna seriously. Ever since Shayna bit Becky, back in early February, Becky's owned Shayna. They had a pull apart brawl. Becky's had really good promos the last 2 weeks, and she hit Shayna with a chair shot tonight. So Charlie Caruso was interviewing Shayna in the ring, and I liked it. They had, basically the arena was blacked out. But basically, I like that. Charlie Caruso tried to conduct an interview with Baszler, but Shayna just wouldn't answer her questions. Every time she would just look, disgruntled and like she just didn't care. But basically, eventually, Shayna did answer, and she said that she wanted to destroy Becky Lynch's world by taking her Raw Women's Champion, which I kind of like that. The thing is, the second that Shayna started talking, she got nailed with a huge chair shot from behind by Becky. Becky getting some payback for Shayna because, Shayna, she, attacks a lot from behind. So Becky getting some payback there. And she smiled, and it was a very hard chair shot. Like I said, one thing, one positive, I guess you could say, about these empty arena shows, you can really hear it when these superstars go at each other hard. The chair shot sounded wicked loud. But Becky, she walks up the ramp, she stares down Shayna, and she smiles. The way I see this, Becky has legit looked strong ever since Shayna bit Becky's neck back in February. Becky has not looked weak ever since then. So the way I see it is, I think Shayna's going to win. I hope Shayna wins. I do enjoy that Becky Lynch is finally, she's turning back into the man, the man that we fell in love with. But still, I've kind of, just grown tired of, with her as champion. And I'm kind of excited to hopefully see her lose that championship to Shayna. But yeah, especially the way that Becky's look strong. Usually when someone looks this strong going to a pay-per-view match, that means WWE plans to have them lose. So yeah. Next up, we had Aleister Black in action. He went up against Leon Ruff. This didn't matter at all. Basically, he sat in front of him, then stood up quickly, and then hit him with a black mass. This didn't matter at all. Like I said, we are getting Aleister Black versus versus Bobby Lashley at Mania. I don't care. You don't care. It's whatever. I expect Lashley to lose to Black, but whatever. I don't really care for that match. Next up, we had Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins had a fire promo on Kevin Owens. You guys remember last week? Kevin Owens made the challenge. He had a really good promo on Seth Rollins, talking about how he has the home field advantage for the Performance Center. While Kevin Owens was in the ring, and he just stood there and called Seth out. Seth came out, and this was a fantastic promo. It's been a while since Seth Rollins cut a really good promo like this. Rollins as a babyface, he wasn't really known for his promo work. Yes, every once in a while he would have a good promo, but heel Seth Rollins is where you really see how great he is on the mic. This was a fantastic promo by Seth. He never even got in the ring. He slowly walked down the ring, walked around, and then walked right back up the stage. Never got in the ring to confront Kevin Owens face to face. But basically, he talked about how KO thinks the WrestleMania is his home field advantage. Rollins has said he's made WrestleMania his biggest stage, and that's kind of true. He cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31 against Lesnar to become WWE champion. He beat Lesnar last year at Mania to become Universal Champion. He's won the IC Championship at WrestleMania. He's also beat Triple H at Mania. You know, he had a fantastic match with Randy Orton. He won matches there as the Shield. Rollins, I think he's only lost one WrestleMania match in his career. If I'm right, I think Rollins is like 4-1, 5-1 at Mania. So the guy has a really good WrestleMania track record. He said that Kevin Owens has never looked good at Mania, and it's kind of true. But he also said Owens had never done anything at Mania, which is wrong. You know, I don't know if WWE just didn't want to mention this because Chris Jericho's in AEW, but Kevin Owens, he beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania to become U.S. champion a couple of years back. I don't know if WWE just didn't want to mention that or whatever. If they're just trying to write Chris Jericho out of the history books, which is impossible. But I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna really get into that. But Ron's also talking about how KO thinks the Performance Center is his home field. Ron's went on talking about how when he first came to WWE, he had his trial in an empty warehouse, and they told him everything that he had done before WWE didn't matter, and how he had to start from the ground up, and how everything he did in NXT and when he got to the main roster, basically paved the road for guys like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Takeover, Kevin Owens, and basically said without him, they would never have gotten as big as they got in WWE, which is true to an extent, you know. And basically, he said to end his promo that he accepted KO's challenge. Owens really never got to respond because Rollins was like, "Yes, this is my turn to respond. You're always interrupting me. Just let me finish for once." Owens watching had to hear Rollins say his best at Mania would easily be able to defeat a failure like Owens. This was a fantastic promo, you know. I hope, you know, they actually let Rollins and Owens have a match. They've had really good matches in the past. I believe Owens is going to win at Mania, finally. But yeah, that's about it. Really, this was a fantastic promo by Seth. You know, really got the job done. And I think allowing him to cut it in the Performance Center made the promo that much better. They showed a replay of Charlotte versus Asuka when Charlotte ended Asuka's streak. You know, it kind of scares me that, you know, they're going to have Charlotte beat Rhea Ripley at Mania, but I don't know. Right now, I still have Rhea Ripley winning, but, you know, reliving Charlotte versus Asuka, even though it was a damn good match, it just scares me that they're going to have Charlotte beat Rhea Ripley and get another title reign that she doesn't deserve. Last but not least, before we get out of here, Randy Orton accepted Edge's WrestleMania challenge. Randy Orton came out to end the show. He didn't even come in the ring. He just cut a promo looking straight into the camera, similar to how Edge did last week on Raw. Basically, they're telling this story about who has more grit. All right, and you know, this last man standing match, it's going to take place around the entire Performance Center. And that's the way I would do if I'm WWE, alright? Don't have everything happen inside the ring. That's why I kind of like what they're doing with Styles and Taker with this whole Boneyard match. You know, it's going to take place probably in a different location. I think Edge versus Randy Orton, you can have that, you know, have a brawl kind of similar to how they did with Gargano versus Ciampa a couple weeks back. You know, you don't have to have it happen all, you know, in the ring. And I'm very excited for Orton versus Edge. In my opinion, it's more of a main event than Goldberg and Roman Reigns ever will be. But yeah, they talked about grit. You know, Randy Orton said basically everything, you know, that happened, he was just trying, you know, to act out of love for his friend, but he was done. and how at WrestleMania he's gonna write the final chapter in this story and end Edge for good. All right. I love this. This was a great promo. This was a whole night filled of good promos, man. And if we had the live audience, would it be as good? Maybe, potentially. We will never know. But definitely, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Paul Heyman, AJ Styles, all cut fantastic promos tonight. Becky and Shayna had a good segment. Definitely, this was a good way to build towards WrestleMania. Even though this isn't WrestleMania, it never will be WrestleMania. No matter how much they try to advertise it as, too big for one night. Still, it was decent. It was decent. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I want to thank you guys for joining me here on the Legit Shoot podcast. Just wanted to give my thoughts really quickly on Raw tonight. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe. If you guys are new, like, comment, enable notifications by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Stay safe.